But the big question we're asking on Carnival 2014 today, can Messi emulate Maradona by winning the 2014 World Cup? You can tweet in your views with the hashtag #OpenHappiness, and we'll try to feature as many of them as we can on our show tonight. You'll see Messi bring the cup back to us. That's what thousands of fans at Porto Alegre was singing last night while Lionel Messi was busy weaving his magic on the pitch. He was enjoying his time in Brazil as Argentina edged Nigeria in a 5-goal thriller. Here's the report.
Alegre is 631 kilometers from the border with Argentina.
It was supposed to be a case of David versus Goliath in Porto Alegre when Argentina took on Nigeria. But what it became was a battle of the two M's, Messi and Musa.
Caps for the Nigeria captain today. Through this set near side, Di Maria off the post, off the goalkeeper, and away to safety.
Messi gave the Sky Blues the lead with a thunderous strike.
Who else? Lionel Messi.
But Musa replied straight back with a blockbuster goal of his own, levelling up the score with only 5 minutes played.
Oh, they've got an equaliser! Musa!
And after a few half chances on both ends, Messi was at it again. He pulled off one of the strikes of the World Cup so far.
Messi strikes. Oh, extraordinary! 4 goals at this World Cup.
And after the break, it was Musa again, cancelling out Messi's strike.
2-2!
Left back Royo gave Argentina the lead, heading the ball home in the 50th minute. Messi was substituted by Sabella, but not before having a telling say in the match. Messi's brace made him to join the top scorer with Neymar at the World Cup. The Sky Blues topped the group, remaining undefeated in 3 games, while Nigeria also made it through despite defeat as Iran slumped to a 3-1 defeat against Bosnia. Argentina is looking certainly very scary with Messi in such form. Sports Bureau headlines today.
So can Messi emulate Maradona by winning the 2014 World Cup? Tweet in your reactions with hashtag #OpenHappiness. With this performance in their last group stage, those certainly are the hopes of the Argentine fans. We'll get you some reactions from the fans as well. But one of Maradona's biggest fans, Saurav Ganguly, is on the show. We've been having this huge debate on the show of whether Messi can emulate Maradona and whether he can equal him in greatness. Saurav, what do you think after last night's performance? Would you like to give more credit to Messi and just what he can achieve now in this World Cup?
Yeah, he was brilliant last night, Shivani. They both have the left foot in common. Messi's free kicks were mesmerizing yesterday, and I watched the game closely because I wanted to see whether my judgment was fair or I was just biased towards Maradona. But I thought Messi was exceptional. His performance in this World Cup has just gone another level. We spoke about his club performance and World Cup performance, but it's just gone to another level in this World Cup. But when you look at Maradona, and when you look at the skill factor, the overall football, I think Maradona is still ahead. I completely agree with you that Messi is probably the best player in the world at the moment, but that man Maradona had probably a little more gift than Messi. What I like about Lionel Messi is the look on his face. There is a look of a simple football star. He's one of the probably the best in the world, but that face gives a lot away to people. He's loved in Barcelona. They probably want to keep him till he dies in that country, in that team. But I like the demeanor of Lionel Messi, and I've watched him really closely. But with due respect to both, what I've seen Diego Maradona in 1986, that skill, that total skill is probably not there in Messi's game, but Messi is also exceptionally good, to be honest.
All right, so perhaps Messi's managed to convert Saurav into a bit of a bigger fan than he was at the start of this World Cup. I'll go to Boria, who's firmly on Messi's side. But before that, Eric, you also feel that perhaps it's unfair to compare the two different generations? It's always difficult to compare two players who play in different generations.
Well, I agree to what you say, Shivani, because 80s was a different era altogether, and this is a different era. We have science and we have technology. But to add to what Dada said, it would be Messi is a great player, is a great player. And Boria, this is in favor, huh? So Messi is a great player, but the greatest is Maradona.
Boria, come in. You still feel these two are being unfair to Messi, isn't it?
You know, Shivani, 15 days into the World Cup, excuse me, 15 days into the World Cup, Sourav Ganguly had started with giving 20 for Messi and 100 for Maradona. Today it's 80 for Messi, 100 for Maradona. Eric had started with similar numbers. 15 days, these people have progressed from 20 to 80. Wait for another 15 days, it will be 100 all. I rest my case. The fact of the matter is, we are not saying he is the greatest. Fact of the matter is, we are saying, can he emulate Maradona? With last night's form, of course he can. Wait for these two converts. They are already half converts. Wait for another 15 days, you will see a full conversion.
All right, perhaps Ashley is the one in the middle. So let me take his view. Both these sides are very passionate. Ashley, you give us a very impassionate view on Lionel Messi and just what he can achieve and what it would mean for his status in world football.
Obviously, we've seen it in the tournament. He's in fine form. If you're trying to compare the two, it's really hard to compare. You've got different generations, different game. You know, nowadays we have no back pass rule. You're not allowed to tackle as you could in the olden days, where it was really tough. So it favours the forwards a little bit. But similarities, obviously, with the balance and the technique. Obviously, both got great left foots. But if you're looking for a winner, for me, Messi is more prolific. He scores more goals, so arguably maybe influences the game a little bit more. But obviously, he's not got the World Cup in his pocket like Maradona did. So if he can go and win it, then he's going to stake a strong place to maybe just go on a little bit in front. But until he wins the World Cup, you probably can't quite say he's as great because he's not picked up that trophy yet.
Ash, are you being biased because of Maradona, the hand of God, what he did to the England team?
No, not at all. Just you know, you see that the game getting quicker and it's a lot faster these days. There's arguably maybe better defenders away. So to do it in the modern age would just give him the nod for me. But both fantastic players and hard to compare.
All right.
Let's go across to Mihir Bose, who's joining us from Rio in Brazil. Mihir, Argentina fans must be delighted with the show that Lionel Messi has put up, especially in that last match. And they must really be banking on their chances now because those chances have got a huge lift now.
Well, of course there was Messi magic, but on the whole, Argentinians as a team performed, I think, much better than they have performed in any of the other matches. There was a collective spirit there. The one thing that will worry the fans is how quickly, immediately after Argentina scored their goals, their defense was pierced by the Nigerians. I mean, the Nigerians played very well in the attacking sense. Of course, they could do nothing against the two great goals that Messi scored. But nevertheless, the fact that their defense could be breached will worry them because against a better team, it might mean that they will struggle.
All right, Argentina's overall performance also much better in this match. Ashley, now overall with their performance in their last match, wins under their belt, Messi in, flying really on the pitch. How much boost do you think Argentina's chances have got now after their last performance?
Yeah, they're obviously growing into the tournament. They started quite slowly in the first game, relied a little bit on Messi. Di Maria was in fine form last night. They're still a little bit shaky at the back. They're conceding goals that they shouldn't be. They're not defending. You've seen the vulnerability last night. They scored and then Nigeria scored. So they need to tighten that up. If they're going to win the tournament, they have to start being a little bit tighter at the back and not rely too much on Messi and try and play more collective as a team, really, if you're going to have any real chance of winning it.
Yeah, still some problems. Eric, very quickly, it's not just Messi, it was also Musa. So it was Messi, Musa in the match. A quick word on Musa.
Musa played fantastic. I mean, everything that he did was exactly what the nation wanted. I mean, these guys came in, they played pressing football, they got opportunities and they converted, which was fantastic. Dada wants to say something.
Yes, Dada, go ahead.
I agree with Eric. It was probably the best game of the World Cup yesterday, Argentina, Nigeria, and I'm very happy that Nigeria has qualified. Probably Musa's first goal yesterday was even better than Lionel Messi's. From that angle to curve in past the goalkeeper to the right-hand side of the bar was phenomenal. And the Nigerians have looked a superb team. They've got pace, they've got power. As we said yesterday, the Argentine defense was a bit weak, and they kept kept getting past that defense. So it was a fantastic game of football yesterday, and it is great to see that both the teams who actually deservingly qualified into the last 16, because this Nigerian team looks very, very solid.
Et on reste quand même très fiers de notre équipe de France. Ils se sont battus les 2 premiers matchs, ils ont assuré le 3e. On est déçus, on aurait aimé avoir des buts.
Parce que là, on va en 8e de finale face au Nigeria et on est parti pour la gagner. Allez les Bleus! Allez les Bleus! Allez les Bleus! Allez les Bleus! Allez pas français! Tu ne pas français!
Welcome back. Let's talk about France now, who finished top of Group E despite being held to a 0-0 draw by Ecuador at the Maracana. France played good football as they have so far in the tournament, but there was one man who always played spoil sport for them. That's the Ecuador goalkeeper Dominguez, who made some fabulous saves in the match, and that meant that France, despite having many chances, could not quite convert those. Dominguez was at the right place at the right time in the match and throughout the match. There was, of course, this incident with Valencia, who was red carded after, well, some would say perhaps a harsh one, his tackle during the match. Like I said, Leblanc controlled the game, but Ecuador they perhaps could have been a man down too. France managed 21 shots on target and maintained 70% possession, but just could not get past the Ecuador goalkeeper. Meanwhile, in the other game of Group E, Shaqiri scored the second hat-trick of the 2014 World Cup as Switzerland beat Honduras 3-0. This huge win means Switzerland will qualify to the pre-quarters at the expense of Ecuador. So, Eric, France more or less did everything right in this match, but still couldn't get a goal on the score sheet.
Shivani, good shape, good form, attacking football, created opportunities, but the man to be acknowledged here is Dominguez. I mean, he was at the right place at the right time, and every time. He saved it, he made it count, and the way Valencia got pulled out of the game, it was a shame, and that kind of gave France an edge. We wanted Pogba to do well. There were moments when he kind of came in and went out. Benzema played well. Griezmann played well. It was a good game overall. Overall, fantastic.
Yes, Arunava Chaudhary is now also joining us from Berlin. Arunava, the good thing about France in this World Cup is that at least we have no internal issues, as we've seen in the past editions. The team's playing like one unit.
Well, I think that's the big thing about France at the moment, that they are playing as a team, and I think certain players are not there, which is helping the team. Players who have been marked or earmarked as troublemakers like Anelka. Maybe even the injury to Ribéry has helped the team a little bit, for them, to be a little bit more free, for the younger boys to really show themselves. And Deschamps, doing a very, very good job as a coach.
Do you think the Germans are a little worried about the French?
Tonight they're worried about the US, and I think that's the first thing they want to get out of the way. But I think, if Germany plays what they can play, there are a few teams who could be a worry for them. France is one of them. I think the other ones most probably are Belgium or the Netherlands. So, most probably it's more interesting to see how they play against a team from South America. Even though there was this big discussion here in the German media today, is that there seems to be a new South American style coming in, which the Europeans haven't woken up to, and that's why Europe is having problems at this World Cup.
Yes, of course, South America is really the flavor, and perhaps not unexpected. South American hosts, the continent countries do very well. Welcome back. Now on to the match from Group E now. Portugal facing Ghana. While both Germany and USA are, of course, favourites to go through from this group, this match is the last chance for Cristiano Ronaldo to make a difference for Portugal's campaign. If they get a big enough result in this one, and if the other match's result goes their way, they could be in a chance for the pre-quarterfinals.
After Spain, England and Italy, it's now Portugal's turn to officially make an exit from the 2014 World Cup. Even a miracle, a double hat-trick by Cristiano Ronaldo against Ghana might not be enough, as even after a big victory, they will need Germany to beat USA heavily to have a chance to progress to the knockouts. A highly improbable chance for the Iberians. The world number 4 team has played unimpressive football, with the star striker Cristiano Ronaldo looking a pale shadow of himself, failing to score even once in 2 matches. With just 1 point and a 4-goal deficit, Portugal's chances to qualify for the next round are next to impossible, while Ghana with 1 point is also struggling. A draw between Germany and USA will ensure both teams exit. So the match will just have academic interest. Perhaps a chance for Ronaldo to make some belated impact. His last chance for a goal in this edition of the World Cup. Sports Bureau, headlines today.
Yes, but pretty bad news coming in before that match for Ghana. Let's go straight across to Arunava, who has the details about the internal problems in the Ghanaian camp. Arunava, lots of butts up happening. Can you give us an update on that?
Well, it seems to be a problem, especially with the African teams. We've seen the problems with Cameroon earlier in the tournament. Now there seems to have been a problem between the two ex-Portsmouth teammates, Sule Muntari and Kevin Prince Boateng. Boateng then had an altercation with the coach. Boateng claims here in the German media that the coach used the F word against him. In Ghana, there is a different version of the incident. But even worse, Sule Muntari, the now AC Milan player, went and hit an official, an administrator from the Ghana Football Association, and those 2 players have been sent home.
Right, so that definitely is not good news before this big match. Boria, overall though, Portugal really have left it too late in this World Cup. Even a big win might not assure them of a result, and even this news perhaps will not help them before this match.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to win 5-0. There's no question. But it's not about 5-0 or 1-0 or 2-0. You just go out there on the park and do your best. Cristiano Ronaldo, will obviously just think that he also has to leave his stamp on this World Cup. Messi has done it, Neymar has done it, Robin has done it. What about Ronaldo? It's his swan song as well. I mean, this match is perhaps the last one that he's playing in 2014 World Cup. So just forget about everything. Give it his all, show what he can do to the world. That's all that matters.
Yes, Dada, I wanted to come to you on this. I mean, Ronaldo, a big player, has been underwhelming. His team has been underwhelming. What is the kind of statement he would like to make in his last match?
Well, as Boria said, try and give your best and play to the best of your potential. But I don't know whether he can do that, because I think a lot of his form has been related to his knee. Whatever he might say that, he's fit, he's been training hard, but it doesn't seem to be the Ronaldo we've seen. So I don't know whether he can recover from it and put up an exceptional game tonight. Portugal needs an exceptional game. They have to win by a margin of 4 goals. But at the same time, obviously, would want Germany to beat USA, which could be a possibility. So everything is not finished for Portugal, but obviously, as Boria said, it's very, very tough. And it's not just Ronaldo. Nani has not been in the best of forms. There have been other players who've not played well in this competition. So obviously, Ronaldo being the big name, his name keeps coming on the forefront. But there have been others around who've not supported him. So I think it's going to be a tough task for Portugal. See, nothing is impossible in sport. But they'll have to do something different to get past and get to the last 16 in this World Cup.
Yes, at this point really it's more for pride than anything else, and let's just hoping for the best, but they would like to go out on a high. Portugal could be another European team that bows out of this World Cup. All right, at this point, breaking news coming in. We're getting updates on the punishment that FIFA has decided on Luis Suarez for biting into another opponent, the 3rd time in his career. Remember, he bit Chiellini in their match against Italy, and the news we're getting is that he's been banned for 9 matches and 4 months from any football activity. That could mean that he would miss the first 8 to 9 weeks for Liverpool in the new EPL season. Let me go across to Ashley now. Ashley, this is perhaps not what the world was expecting, because Suarez is a serial offender in this matter. A 9-match, 4 months ban seems too little.
Yeah, it's everybody was expecting a lot more. A year, a 2-year ban. He's already had a 10-match ban before. This is almost the same kind of ban. I think that the difference between this one is it happened for country and it implies to his club games as well. So that's a little bit different. He's been fined 100,000 francs as well, which I'm sure he'll find that in the ashtray of his car. So I can't see that hurting him too much. But it's certainly not the big heavy penalty that everybody was looking for.
Yes, Boria, the statement that FIFA is making is that such kind of behavior cannot be tolerated. But does their punishment actually send out that message?
You know, the punishment could have been far more if he was not Suarez. The punishment would have been far more if he was not that big a star. The fact is, obviously, it sort of puts huge things on Uruguay's World Cup campaign and perhaps does a bit to Liverpool. But the fact is, how much does he suffer? Is this lesson enough? I mean, will roguish behavior, loutish behavior be tolerated on the field of sport? Did FIFA chicken out? So these questions will have to be raised. What do you mean by 9 months? I mean, 9 games. You know, 8 weeks or 9 weeks is just 2 months. This man is a repeat offender. He's a complete disgrace. By giving him a punishment, you're accepting that he's fault. You know, he's actually at fault. He is guilty. This is ridiculous. The 2-month punishment for a repeat offender is just ridiculous. And this is because he's bigger star. He gets you the eyeballs, he attracts sponsors, so FIFA chickened out.
Yes, Eric, this is exactly what many were fearing, that there's so much pressure from the Uruguayan federation and from UEFA perhaps, that the ban will not really send out a very stiff message as a lot of fans in the world wanted.
The question is, what is the purpose of this ban? Are we trying to correct the behavior? Are we trying to not encourage such things in the future? 8 weeks is nothing. I mean, it's just as good as a rehab program for him. He'll go around to meet psychologists, he'll work on his knee injury, he'll work on his injuries, he'll be back and good to play again. So, I don't know what message FIFA wants to put across with this particular fine on him.
Yeah, Arunava, the sentiment on Suarez was very clear. And everyone felt that his talent really should not be a factor in deciding the punishment, but that's exactly what seems to be the case. And this has happened in the past. You know, Mihir Bose was telling us yesterday that he has grown up thinking that no matter what he does, his teammates and his country will always support him. So that kind of enables his behavior.
I see it a little differently on that front, because I think you have to see a decision which FIFA takes is normally regarding national teams and normally does not affect club football. And here you've taken a decision to ban the player for 4 months from all kinds of football. He's not even allowed to walk into a stadium in theory. Let's see if that is going to be implemented or not. So on that front, I think it's a very, very harsh punishment. If you see that Josip Zimunic was banned before the World Cup playing for Croatia because he made a Nazi salute when Croatia qualified for the World Cup. So comparing those kind of things and those kind of behaviors, you have to see what the FIFA standards are. FIFA could have suspended him for 2 years from national team football, which would have affected Uruguay, but he would have played on for Liverpool, which would have, done nothing to him. But he's now suspended for 4 months. So I think it's from a FIFA perspective, I think it's quite a big decision. And I don't really feel that Uruguay as such is an important factor. And I don't even think UEFA is such a factor, because FIFA has to take a decision in the interest of the game. And sometimes there are a lot of factors which come into something of this kind of a decision.
All right, let me take a final comment from Saurav Ganguly as well. Saurav, the point of view that many are making is, you get perhaps a 6-match ban for spitting on an opponent. Now, this man has bit into an opponent for the 3rd time in his career. He has gone ahead and done it on the biggest stage of the sport at the World Cup. What do you feel? Do you feel this punishment is good enough, even if he's missing the first few games for Liverpool?
I think it's good enough, Shivani, because he misses the entire World Cup. Uruguay will go into the last 16 and he will not be a part of it. So it's a big tournament to miss. It's a World Cup. It's not just another international game, and plus the Liverpool one. So I think it's fair. If you would have continued to play in the World Cup and missed the Liverpool games, then I don't think it wouldn't have been fair. So from my point of view, I think it's a fair punishment to Suarez.